Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Google Doctor. What are we saying?
I don't know. It's a working title. We'll have something
We'll
soon.
figure it out.
It's just so bad. Yeah.
Welcome
I
back.
I woke up at like early in the morning and I like replayed the name like Google Doctor. I'm like, that's horrible.
No, that's not what you said. That was like Dr. Ads. Dr.
Doc-
Ads.
yeah, even cringier.
Yeah. All right. Well, scrapping the title. Welcome back. It's Costume John with Solutions 8. And today we're going to teach you how to do more Google awesomeness.
Yeah.
John, take it away.
Yeah. So when speaking with new clients or even new potential clients, one of the things that I hear most often is, I'm just not sure that my ads agency is really doing much. I ask them what they're doing and they're like, well, they're making optimizations. I don't really know what that means. And so that's something that we hear quite often and is something that we actually tell them how to check up on us when we're managing the campaigns. And so if you ever had a question to, is my Google Ads agency or is my service provider, doing what they're supposed to be doing? Are they making the amount of changes that I pay them for? And I don't want to get into this, argument about, how much do I pay them per hour or how many changes do they do a day? Because that's really irrelevant when you're looking at what goals you're looking to achieve. Everything's going to be different, but they should be in there quite frequently. At least once a week at a minimum, making a good amount of changes depending on if your campaign's performing or not. So today I'm going to show you a little trick to see exactly who's making the change, when they're making the change, and what the change was exactly, and so that you can keep tabs on your Google Ads agency. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I have an account pulled up here now. And in this account, you can see just in the last, 26 days, or let's just go like the last 30 days, for example. Last 30 days, May 5th to June 3rd. You can see that in this account here, we've spent $5,300 and made $25,000 for a 479% return on ad spend. So almost a 500% return. This is definitely above the client's goals, and the client is very happy. So you think, well, you shouldn't really be doing much. As long as it's kind of churning and burning and making a good amount of money, there's not much to be changed. And that's just not the case. It takes a high amount of maintenance to get this to perform like this. So if you have a campaign that's just rock and rolling, odds are your change history, which I'm going to show you in a moment, should look pretty good. If not, and the campaigns are not performing well, then it's a good indicator that there might be just an issue with the vendor, or maybe someone in-house, maybe someone just may not be knowing what they're doing or making the wrong changes, whatever it may be. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And it's really simple. As soon as you log into your account, actually, there we go. As soon as you log into your account, you should have a more button right here, which might have the change history. You can see it's often visited for me, so I want to know exactly what changes we've done before so we can look at what we're going to be doing next. But you might not see change history in this tab right here. It might be under your more tab. So if you click on that, you should see the change history in there, labeled right here. So as soon as you click on that more tab and you click on change history, what you should see is a few different things here. So kind of the all changes, this will tell you how many changes have been made. And this is in the last 30 days, we made 76 changes. And what's cool about this is you get to see the user, date, and time. So who's logging in, what the date and the time is, and then you can see actually the change itself here. And you can click on a drop down and see that we've added 2 keywords. What is a search, the campaign, this is in search terms. And the ad group is, and I'm just going to keep the ad group here blurred just because, privacy for our client. But what's nice about this is you get to see all of the changes that are made. And this is regardless of who logs in. You can have 3 different logins to your account. If 3 different people log in and 3 different people make changes, you'll see 3 different users here. And if there's, and the date and time is actually going to be in the time zone that your account is in. And if you ever want to know what time account is in, and if you ever want to know what time zone your account is in, scrolling all the way down to the bottom, you'll see that it'll give you the time zone. Some is in Pacific, sometimes it's Eastern. It just depends on who made the account originally. But the time zone for all dates and times is in Pacific time. So I know exactly down to the even time zone what changes were made. And you should see a fair good amount of cadence in here in terms of changes. So this is June 3rd, June 3rd, June 3rd, June 3rd, May 28th, 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 22nd, 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 20th, 20th, 20th. You should see a good amount of changes. And obviously, if the campaign is performing well and you see a good amount of changes, you probably have a good ad strategist. You have a good vendor or you have a good in-house employee that's really knowing what they're doing. But if your campaign is not performing or it's just not exactly where you want it to be, and your change history looks a little light, could be a sign. Or you might see some changes that are just kind of tiny, like a 10-cent increased bid for one keyword and then nothing for that week. make sure you kind of investigate and see, are they really making big changes in the account? Are they really making, audience changes and keyword changes and bid adjustments and those type of things? Make sure that it looks like there's a good amount of work to be done.
Talk to me a little bit about bots, because there's a lot of automated bid systems that will do this for you.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there are ways to kind of identify when somebody just has a piece of software that's making, granular changes that don't mean anything, but make the change history look good.
Yeah, so you'll actually see that in the user. Most time when you hook up a bot, whether it be WordStream or Opteo or whoever it is, or even like ClickSees, for example. Anytime you hook up a bot, usually they say, do I have access to your Google Ads campaign? And you can say yes. And it simply just adds that person adds that bot as a user. So you might see like, Opteo1237@gmail.com, or even HubSpot can log in and make changes. So like a HubSpot 1568@gmail.com. Usually it's like add an @Gmail, just because, it's easier to bypass anything through Google Ads with a Gmail login. So you'll actually see the user will be a kind of a product name most often. Best way to do this just definitively is, ask your vendor, ask whoever's managing your account, what login do they use? And you'll be able to see if it's the person logging in making those changes or the bot itself. And if you see a lot of bot changes and not a lot of user changes, it's a good it's a good sign that someone just kind of hooked your campaign up to an automated system, wiped their hands and crossed their fingers and said, man, I hope this works. And then you pay them monthly. Usually doesn't work.
Yeah, this is awesome. I appreciate you sharing this. I think it's important to note that even though you don't see a change made in change history, that doesn't necessarily mean that the ad manager isn't in the account. It just means that they don't see anything in that moment to change.
Yeah, so you'll want to look at like the date range. If there's been no changes to the account in the date range, there's literally been no changes. The only other place that you can make changes, I shouldn't say only, but the only place outside of Google Ads that should be regularly changed are things like Google Tag Manager or Google Merchant Center. And those don't have as well built out change histories. Like it's only if you want to publish the changes and you can actually say like, no, I don't want to write notes about what I did. I know what I did, and you hit publish. So it's user defined if you can see what the changes were. Change history in here, if I log in and make a 5-cent change on a one keyword at any point in time, it'll be logged here. So if there's been no changes, you won't see any changes.
Got it. Yeah, this is awesome. As always, ask questions that you have, like, comment, subscribe. We're coming at you daily. John, thanks for your time. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, guys.